Today we are doing lesson 8.2, perimeters of composite figures. Our I can statement for today, I can find perimeters of composite figures. So a composite figure is one that is made up of other figures that we have names for, like triangles, rectangles, parallelograms. When you have a shape that's made up of those different things, then we can call that a composite figure. So that's what we're going to be looking for today, things that don't have easy formulas for area, and we're just looking at them as individual shapes put together. So for estimating the perimeter of the arrow, when we have one like this that is on a graph paper or a grid of some sort, we can count our sides and we can count our diagonals. So when we count one that's just one straight side, and we're counting the sides, we're not counting the squares of the area. One of those sides, that's going to represent one unit. However, when we see a part that is a diagonal, a half of a square, an area, this part, it's actually going to be 1.5. So we're going to count up how many straight lines we have and how many diagonal lines we have, and then we're going to add everything together. So we'll start with our diagonals. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 diagonals in this, and each one is going to be worth 1.5. So really that means altogether that's going to be worth 12 units of distance. Okay, now I'm going to go through, switch colors here, and I'm going to count the straight sides. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Now these do count as 2 different ones. I'm counting the sides. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 12 that are slanted, I have 20 that are straight, so I have 32 units as my estimated perimeter. Now because there's a lot of counting in this type of problem, there's not a lot of work to show. But at the minimum, I should be able to see how many diagonals you had and the multiplication times 1.5, and then how many straights you had and the sum of those two. All right. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two on your own. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our answers. So I'm going to start with my diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 diagonals. Each one is worth 1.5. So that's going to be 18 altogether. Now I'm going to count my straight sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't forget to count that part. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have 18 worth of length for my 12 diagonals, and then I have 14 for my straights. So that's going to give me a total of 32 units. Okay, let's check our next one. I'm going to start with my diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 diagonals times 1.5 is going to give me about 7.5. Now I'm going to count my straight sides. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I have 7.5 worth of slanted sides and 26 for my straight side, so it's going to give me approximately 33.5 units of perimeter. This is the type of work I'm looking to see on your paper. That's the minimum of what I need to see. All right. Sometimes we see shapes that are not on a grid and they give us measurements for them instead of having us count it out. So we have to use what we know to figure out our perimeter. So I like to start with my semicircle. Remember, circumference is pi times diameter. And if we have a semicircle, we have to divide that by 2. Now, when we did just the semicircle, we also added on the diameter, but here my diameter is on the inside of the shape. So I'm going to use that information to help me find my circumference, but I'm not going to add this 10 because it's not on the outside of the shape. I have the curve, I have the 6 and the 8 that are on the outside of the shape. Those are the things I need to add. All right, so I'm going to do 10, that's my diameter, times pi, 3.14, divided by 2. Let's see, 10 times 3.14 is 31.4. And then I need to take that and divide by 2. So 31.4 divided by 2, 15 and 7 tenths. That's this part. I didn't do a very good job tracing, but that's okay. The curved part, that's 15.7. I still have 6 and 8 on the outside, so I need to add those together. Plus 6 plus 8. And that is going to tell me my total perimeter, which is 29.7 feet. All right, let's take a look at our next one here. The running track is made up of a rectangle and 2 semicircles. Find the perimeter. So first, circumference. Remember, we have to do pi times diameter. If it's a semicircle, we divide by 2, but this part and this part, if I push them together, make one full circle. So I don't need to divide by 2 and then times by 2, because this and this together are one circle. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm realizing that I have a radius and not a diameter. So I'm actually going to use this formula, 2 times pi times radius, for the 2 curved parts that I have outlined. So 2 times 3.14 times my radius, which is 32. That's going to tell me the 2 parts that are outlined right now. And let's see, when I multiply those together, I get 296 hundredths. Okay, I now have 2 straight sides. I have this side, that's going to be 100, because this side is 100. On a rectangle, both straight sides are equal, so I'm going to add 100, and then I'm going to add another 100. And then when I add that all together, I'm going to get 496 hundredths meters. All right, go ahead and pause the video and try these 2 on your own. All right, let's go ahead and check our answers. So I'm going to start with the curved part of the semicircle. To do that, I'm going to do 26 times 3.14. That's the circumference if it was one whole circle. And then I'm going to divide by 2. So let's see, if I do 26 times 3.14, I get 81.64. And then I am going to divide that by 2, and I get 40.82. That's the distance that's on blue here, the outlined. Then I need to add my other values to it. So I have 40 and 82 hundredths plus 10 plus 24. All right, so once I add those things together, then I get 74 and 82 hundredths, and that's going to be centimeters. All right, let's try number 4. So here I have a square, which means all the sides are the same length. So my diameter is also going to be 8 meters, and 2 semicircles. I'm doing the outside. So I'm going to start with my 2 semicircles. Since I have 2 of them, I can just think of it as one big circle. So I'm going to do pi times diameter. So I'm going to do 8 times 3.14. And when I do 8 times 3.14, I get 25 and 12 hundredths. Then I need to add in my 2 straight sides, 25 and 12 hundredths plus 8 for the top, plus 8 for the bottom. That's going to give me a total answer of 41 and 12 hundredths meters. All right, last one, find the perimeter of the room shown. All right, so perimeter, we're adding all the outsides together. This one does not have any of the slanted parts. We do need to do a little work to find missing side lengths. So we know this part is 15.5 and we know this part is 14. So this whole bottom side is going to be 19.5. I got that from adding the 14 and the 5.5 together. That tells me the total for the whole bottom. And then I know this part is 14, or I'm sorry, I know this part is 4, and I know this part is 12 and a half. I have to subtract those to get this side. And that's going to tell me that this side is 8.5. All right, go ahead and pause the video and finish this problem up. All right, let's check our answers here. So we need to add all of our numbers together, and yes, it's okay to use a calculator, but you still have to write out what you do. So 8.5 plus 5.5 plus 4 plus 14 plus 12.5 plus 19.5. So I started from the side and then I just wrote down every side length that we had. And together that equals 64. And the unit is going to be feet. 64 feet is our perimeter.